The Nanny, 1993, wasn't just a sitcom. It turned an unforgettable character into a television icon. For years, it filled our homes with laughter, heart, and moments fans still love today. But behind those familiar faces, life took some unexpected turns. Some found lasting success, others chose different paths, and a few stories may surprise you. Now, we revisit the cast then and now, and discover what became of them beyond the spotlight. Daniel Davis glided through The Nanny with a raised eyebrow and perfectly timed remark, often stealing a scene before anyone realized it. As Niles, the Sheffield family's sharp-witted butler, he turned sarcasm into an art form. Every exchange with C.C. Babcock felt like a duel disguised as comedy, and audiences eagerly waited for the next clever strike. Born November 26, 1945, in Gordon, Arkansas, Davis was 47 years old when the series premiered in 1993, already respected for decades of classical theater and Shakespearean performance. His stage-trained precision gave Niles a sophistication that elevated every joke. Ironically, the actor behind television's most famous English butler was neither British nor aristocratic, but a thoughtful Southern performer devoted to his craft. After The Nanny, Davis continued working in theater, television, and film, earning admiration for his versatility and longevity. In 2026, at 80, Daniel Davis remains proof that great comedy often comes from intelligence, timing, and the confidence to say everything with just one look. Benjamin Salisbury brought a mischievous spark to The Nanny that made Brighton Sheffield impossible to ignore. Whether delivering a sarcastic one-liner or finding himself in trouble yet again, he captured the awkward confidence of a teenager growing up in a house suddenly transformed by Fran Fine's arrival. Beneath the jokes, Brighton felt like a kid searching for his place in a changing family. Born October 19, 1980, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Salisbury was just 12 years old when the series premiered in 1993, already gaining experience through commercials and television work. His natural comedic timing helped him stand out in a cast filled with strong personalities. Off-screen, however, Salisbury was far more reserved than the wisecracking Brighton audiences knew. After The Nanny, he gradually stepped away from acting, later serving in journalism and public service roles while building a life outside Hollywood. Today, at 46, Benjamin Salisbury remains part of a sitcom that continues to remind viewers how funny, chaotic, and meaningful family life can be. Nicole Tom grew up in front of audiences on The Nanny, often standing between childhood and adulthood as Maggie Sheffield tried to find her place in a rapidly changing world. Whether navigating first romances, family expectations, or the influence of Fran Fine, Maggie's journey felt genuine because Tom brought a quiet sincerity to every stage of her character's growth. Born March 23, 1978, in Hinsdale, Illinois, Tom was 15 years old when the series debuted in 1993. Already building experience through commercials and television appearances, she carried a natural screen presence that made Maggie relatable rather than glamorous. Her portrayal resonated because viewers watched a shy teenager gradually gain confidence and independence. While Maggie often searched for approval, Tom herself approached her career with determination and versatility. Following the show's success, she expanded into film, television, and voice acting, becoming especially well known as the voice of Supergirl in the DC animated universe. At 48, Nicole Tom remains fondly remembered by fans who watched Maggie grow up alongside them. Charles Shaughnessy stood in the Sheffield mansion with a composed smile that rarely revealed what Maxwell Sheffield was truly feeling. Then Fran Fine would say something unexpected, and for a split second, the polished producer disappeared, replaced by a man slowly falling in love. Those small moments became the emotional engine of The Nanny, and Shaughnessy played them perfectly. Born February 9, 1955, in London, England, he was 38 years old when the series premiered in 1993. Educated at Cambridge and trained in classical acting, he brought elegance and subtle timing to a role that could have felt one-dimensional. While Maxwell often hid behind formality and control, Shaughnessy was known for warmth, humor, and an approachable charm that contrasted beautifully with his character. After the sitcom ended, he expanded into theater, television, and voice acting, building a career that stretched far beyond one iconic role. At 71 years old in 2026, Shaughnessy remains forever linked to a television romance that still reminds audiences how unexpected love can change a life. Renee Taylor never simply entered a scene in The Nanny. She arrived with a burst of energy, a sharp observation, and usually a comment about food. As Sylvia Fine, she turned every family gathering into a whirlwind of love, guilt, laughter, and unmistakable New York charm. Beneath the comedy was a mother whose devotion to her family always came through. Born March 19, 1933, in the Bronx, New York, Taylor was 60 years old when The Nanny premiered in 1993. Long before Sylvia, she had built an acclaimed career as an actress, playwright, and comedian, earning recognition for co-writing Lovers and Other Strangers and appearing across stage, film, and television. Her performance stood out because she made larger-than-life humor feel surprisingly authentic. While Sylvia could be dramatic and overbearing, Taylor herself was celebrated for her intelligence, creativity, and decades of artistic collaboration with her late husband, Joseph Bologna. The years have passed, but at 93 years old in 2026, Renee Taylor remains one of television's most beloved scene stealers, proof that the biggest laughs often come from characters who love the hardest. Rachel Chagall could make an entire room laugh with a single confused look. As Val Torriello on The Nanny, she was Fran Fine's fiercely loyal best friend, always arriving with a questionable plan, a big heart, and just enough chaos to make every scene unforgettable. Beneath the jokes, Val carried a sweetness that made audiences instantly root for her. Born November 24, 1952, in Brooklyn, New York, Chagall was 40 years old when the series premiered in 1993. After studying acting and building experience in television and film, she earned critical acclaim in Gabby, a true story before finding mainstream success on The Nanny. Her comedic timing felt effortless, yet it was grounded in genuine vulnerability. While Val often seemed scattered and unsure, Chagall faced real-life challenges with remarkable resilience, including recovering from a life-threatening brain hemorrhage. The years have moved on, but now 74, she remains warmly remembered by fans who still see Val as the friend who could turn any disaster into a reason to laugh. And Morgan Gilbert shuffled into The Nanny with a mischievous smile and a line that could send an entire scene spinning in a new direction. As Yetta Rosenberg, Fran Fine's delightfully eccentric grandmother, she turned forgetfulness, unexpected wisdom, and fearless humor into some of the show's most memorable moments. Whenever Yetta appeared, the atmosphere instantly became warmer, funnier, and wonderfully unpredictable. Born October 16, 1928, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Gilbert was 64 years old when The Nanny premiered in 1993. Long before Yetta, she had built a distinguished career through theater, television, and beloved roles on classics like The Dick Van Dyke Show. Her gift was making outrageous comedy feel completely natural, giving Yetta a charm that never felt forced. While the character often seemed scattered and impulsive, Gilbert herself was known for professionalism, intelligence, and deep dedication to her craft. Following The Nanny, she continued acting across television and film, remaining a cherished presence for multiple generations of viewers. And Morgan Gilbert passed away on June 14, 2016, at 87 after a battle with cancer. Yet Yetta still feels like that unforgettable relative whose laughter somehow made every family gathering brighter. Madeline Zima often sat quietly in the middle of the Sheffield family's chaos, delivering a clever observation that instantly stole the scene. As Grace Sheffield on The Nanny, she blended innocence, intelligence, and unexpected wit, creating a character who felt wise beyond her years. Beneath the laughter, Grace became the emotional bridge between Fran Fine and the children she gradually came to love. Born September 16, 1985, in New Haven, Connecticut, Zima was just 8 years old when the series premiered in 1993. Already acting in commercials and television, she displayed a natural confidence that allowed her to shine alongside a veteran cast. Her performance stood out because Grace felt observant and genuine rather than simply cute. While the character often seemed sheltered, Zima herself grew into a fearless performer willing to take on darker, more complex roles. After the Nanny, she expanded into dramatic projects such as Californication, independent films, and voice work, steadily reinventing her screen image. Now 41, Madeline Zima remains part of a sitcom family that continues to feel familiar, comforting, and endlessly rewatchable to generations of viewers. Lauren Lane could enter a room on the Nanny with perfect confidence, only to be undone moments later by one of Niall's razor-sharp insults. As Cece Babcock, she transformed jealousy, ambition, and romantic frustration into comedy gold. Every glare, every sarcastic comeback, and every failed attempt to win Maxwell's attention made her one of the show's most unforgettable characters. Born February 2, 1961, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Lane was 32 years old when the sitcom premiered in 1993. Trained in theater and known for her strong stage background, she brought precision and depth to a role that could have easily become a caricature. Her performance worked because beneath Cece's icy exterior was a woman desperately searching for love and belonging. Away from the spotlight, Lane was known for her passion for teaching and mentoring young performers, a striking contrast to the often self-absorbed executive she portrayed on screen. At 65, she remains fondly remembered for proving that even a sitcom antagonist can become one of its most beloved hearts. Fran Drescher swept into the Sheffield mansion with a bright smile, a Queen's accent nobody could mistake, and enough energy to change every life in the room. As Fran Fine on the Nanny, she wasn't just the nanny, she became the heart of the story. Beneath the flashy outfits and rapid-fire jokes was a woman whose warmth slowly turned a house into a family. Born September 30, 1957, in Flushing, New York, Drescher was 35 years old when the series premiered in 1993. After years of acting in film and television, she co-created The Nanny, drawing inspiration from her own upbringing and personality. That authenticity made Fran feel real, transforming a sitcom character into a cultural icon. While viewers saw endless confidence, Drescher faced profound personal challenges, including serious health battles that later fueled her advocacy work. The spotlight never truly left her. She continued acting, producing, writing, and eventually became a prominent voice for performers as president of SAG-AFTRA. At 68, Fran Drescher remains living proof that individuality, resilience, and a little laughter can leave an unforgettable mark on television history. Spalding Gray brought a calm, thoughtful presence to the Nanny that stood apart from the show's usual whirlwind of comedy. As Dr. Jack Miller, he carried himself with an understated intelligence that made even brief scenes feel grounded. In a world filled with larger-than-life personalities, Gray's quiet sincerity offered a different kind of connection. Born June 5, 1941, in Barrington, Rhode Island, Gray was 52 years old when he appeared on the series in 1993. Long before sitcom audiences discovered him, he had earned acclaim as an actor, playwright, and monologist, pioneering a deeply personal storytelling style through works such as Swimming to Cambodia. His performances stood out because they felt less like acting and more like intimate conversations. Unlike many of the confident figures he portrayed, Gray openly wrestled with anxiety and depression, often transforming personal struggles into powerful art. His later years were marked by ongoing health challenges following a serious car accident. Spalding Gray died on January 10, 2004, at 62. Yet his work endures as a reminder that vulnerability, honestly shared, can leave a deeper mark than any performance designed simply to entertain.